Hello everyone, today is Friday, December 31st, 2021. The following are the important articles that we have to read for competitive examinations. Starting with the first article in the first page, decision on vaccine for precautionary dose soon. This is in regards to the ICMR's decision to give booster shots, which India is not calling them as booster shots but as precautionary shots. Try to understand the difference between the language in this regard is very important. Try to exam perspective not much important, but awareness perspective to read what is going on in the decision making process. AFSPA extended in Nagaland. Again, a lot of discussion is being run around the aspect of continuation or discontinuation of AFSPA in northeastern states. From that perspective, do read this article. Coming to international relations, one of the significant event is taking place in terms of China issues names for 15 places in Arunachal Pradesh. Try to understand how has been historical claims on Arunachal Pradesh by the Chinese has been and how India has been rebutting them. Coming to ecology environment, Odisha radio tax rescued Indian pangolin. So pangolin is something that we have to read because in the start of COVID-19 2 years back, one of the animals that has been accused as the carrier of COVID-19 was our SARS-CoV-2, as we come to know about it, was the pangolins, particularly Asian species or Asian specific pangolin species. So you have to learn a lot about Indian pangolin so that in case in prelims any question might be asked, you will be well versed to answer them. Coming to states, page number 5, the article that I wanted to bring you to your notice was Jumbo Tantrum Shakes Policeman. So this is not about the event itself, but what we have to learn about is human-animal conflict in reserve forest border areas. Very, very important human-animal conflict. Try to understand what has been going on, what has been the programs that the government of India has brought in to address this issue, and what impact does it have on conservation methods or practices. Coming to editorial page number 6, the article is if NFHS report card, the good, the sober, the future. So this is like the analysis or the summary of the NFHS report from this particular author's perspective. There are certain good points from data perspective. Try to pick those out. Apart from it, if you want, you can simply skip this article. Coming to op-ed page number 17. So this is not an examination perspective, but an ethical question that might be asked in ethics, which most of us do not worry about. So should vaccination be made mandatory? This is something that is going to be asked on ethical terms. So in order to answer a question in ethics, you have to be aware of both the sides of discussion and both sides of valid points. That is how you conclude at an ethical decision driven by your own moral compass. So just read it further perspective and try to make up your own opinion in regards to whether vaccination should be made mandatory or not. Sometimes it feels like it's not important, but these are the questions that UPSC likes to ask. Coming to page number 8, Prime Minister puts off UAE visit, just informative article. Why? What was the significance of this UAE visit? Because we are trying to negotiate a trade deal with UAE and they were in the process of signing those deals. From that perspective, read this article. Government tells NIA to probe 6 for Justice member. So this is in regards to the Khalistani movement. So being aware of the organizations that are spearheading that terror modules is a little bit of importance for our internal security perspective. Historically also 6 for Justice has been one of the troublemakers in terms of the Khalistani terror movement in our country. So from that perspective, do read this article. New scheme to support the marginalized. So this is just an informative article. Uh, there are two things that they are talking about. The scheme called Smile. Learn the functions or the parameters of the Smile scheme, which is sponsored by central government, if I am not wrong. Coming to page number 9, again much not to be discussed. Coming to page number 10, India reports over 10,000 cases a day again. So this is in regards to the Omicron variant, how different it is compared to Delta variant. That is how you to look at it. Covaxin safe for children, says Bharat Biotech. Just informative article in terms of vaccinating our younger population. Coming to culture, Sahitya Academy announces award in 20 languages. So learn more about Sahitya Academy, who have been the prominent winners of Sahitya Academy, and how Sahitya Academy awards or Sahitya Academy itself promote culture in our country, particularly literary culture or rural culture. Coming to world, page number 10. China minister to visit Maldives, Sri Lanka. So this is in regards to significant escalation and developments in our own backyard from Maldives and Sri Lanka. Read this article from that perspective. Amid Ukraine crisis, Biden putting to hold another call. Just informative article. Try to understand what is going on in Ukraine and Russia and what is the Nordic Stream pipeline. Iran also announces new space launch amid nuclear talks. So this is in regards to the development that is taking place in Iran. Subsequently, they decided to launch a new space vehicle or satellite. Okay, what you have to do is be aware of what is taking place in Iran in terms of nuclear deal and their own development. Coming to page number 12, the first article that you have to look at is India-Australia interim FTA talks to close soon. So this is in regards to the free trade agreement between India and Australia. Yesterday there was an article about our domestic dairy sector being very cautious about the FTA, coming up FTA, because Australian is asking for an open market for our milk sector also, or dairy sector as we call it. So from that perspective, understand the timeline of FTA negotiations between India and Australia. Coming to text and context, reigning in the direct selling industry. So this is in regards to the consumer protection direct selling rules of 2021. How has industry had taken advantage of the vulnerable in certain cases, and in some cases how it has helped the marginalized sectors. In the sense, see, this is not about the lowest rungs of the society. We are talking about how direct selling has affected individuals. From that perspective, do read this article. The next article is the algorithms that fuel OTT. Informative article, having an understanding of what algorithms are is far more important than how it affects the OTTs. Understand the business of algorithms. Recently, if you remember, China has also brought in some rules and regulations, strict rules and regulations in regards to algorithms, particularly social media algorithms or online platforms algorithms. Learn about that and what has the Chinese done and how they try to affect, or what would be the impact of those restrictions on companies, technology companies, whether it's good, whether it's bad. Should India adopt similar types of restrictions on algorithms to protect our own children and population? So these are the important articles that we have to read for competitive examinations. Please do subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends. It will certainly help the channel. Thank you. Stay safe. Namaste.